Hi empaths, welcome back to more crystal readings. So notice which crystal is drawing your attention, allowing energy from your heart center to move up and out through your eyes and into the stone. Sending some energy there, and then I'll tune in and see what I can pick up on. On the left we have Rutilated Quartz. In the middle we have a double terminated Citrine. And on the right we have a pink tourmaline blade or Rubellite. Just sending energy into the crystal you resonate with the most. And then you can either watch the video from beginning to end or go right to the timestamp of the crystal of your choice in the description or the comments. All right, let's get started. Hi there to those of you that chose the Rutilated Quartz. I love this one because it kind of looks like my hair because it's the red rutile. I mean, if it will even focus. Maybe it's just too beautiful to focus. I don't know. Oh, there we go. There, see? Sometimes called the hairs of Venus in there. Let's tune in and see what we get. Okay, so saying the hairs of Venus really prompted me to see a picture of, I think it's a painting of Venus. Very famous picture. Painting of Venus that was on a book. I don't remember which book it was the cover of that I have. But maybe you know of the book if you're really familiar with books in the metaphysical variety. Maybe you know which one I'm talking about. But I'm also seeing the things that Venus might be associated with, like beauty, love, creativity, prosperity. Pleasure. So how can we associate and link pleasure with the things that we're trying to create? I'm seeing the words too serious, and this is a message for me, so maybe you can relate. Sometimes we think we need to work really hard to make things happen, but as one of my aromatherapy teachers once said to me, and it really hit home, if we can have pleasure in, and this was actually about the inhaling of aroma of essential oil. He said, David Wolf, maybe you're familiar, he would always say, the more pleasure we can have, right, the more pleasing the aroma is to us, the more therapeutic the effect. We actually enhance the therapeutic effect when we enjoy it, when we have pleasure in it. I'm also seeing Mama Gina. And if you know Mama Gina School of Women Arts, it's about pleasure. It's about experiencing pleasure and allowing pleasure, the pleasure of life, that sense of pleasure to guide us, to lead us, instead of believing things have to be really hard or really serious. I'm also working through a limiting belief around I can't have fun or find humor in things if I want to be taken seriously. I'm working through this belief, right? And I think that, if we're enjoying the process, it enhances it for everyone involved. So is there a way for you to have more pleasure? Really enjoy your experiences here, what you're here to create. How can you enjoy it? Is there a way to do that? How can you? And maybe just asking the question before you start, how can I have more fun here? Playful. Your playfulness is really prized. It's really valuable. It helps get people back in tune with their higher self, particularly if they're really blended with a part that's suffering, right? A part of their psyche that has a lot of pain, that finds purpose in their suffering, that finds purpose in the pain. Or if, maybe you have a part of you that feels and believes, I have to work really hard. Working hard, that's how you make things happen. Things have to feel like work. I have to put in a lot of effort. And while that might be true in part, there's also something to enjoying, having pleasure, having play, and finding a playful way to enjoy the process as you go. Enjoy what you're creating. Enjoy what you're working towards, right? So is there part of you that's feeling a little serious about what's happening? And can we just tune it a little bit to make it a little more fun? In this way, we can make it sustainable and enhance the process for you. Can we harmonize the parts that, there's one part that believes I got to be serious. I got to work hard. I have to invest in everything I do. It's got to be hard for me. And then another part that says, I just want to play. I don't want to work. Life shouldn't be serious. Life should be fun. Life should be playful. We're here to play. We're here to be creative and co-create a really fun experience. Maybe these are really separate parts, and can we harmonize them, right? And help them work with one another instead of against each other inside of you. They're a really dynamic pair that can take you far, right? Like if you are really good at what you do and you're a blast to be around, that's a special touch, right? Or if you are really competent and are really able to tune into details and make things happen, but also enjoy life like no one else. I mean, you're pretty much indispensable, right? That's a really beautiful combination. And maybe this is what you're working towards right now. I'm also thinking back to my astrologer, Anne Orderly. I had an amazing session with her, and she noticed that I have an out of bounds Venus, is what she called it. And she said, people with out of bounds Venus. I'm not quite sure what that even really means. Maybe astrologers do, if there's any astrologer out there. And she said that means you can either be really, really poor or swing the other way and be really, really wealthy. You just have to focus on making money, which hasn't always been my strong suit. So maybe that's something you're experiencing as well. How can I enjoy putting money into the mix, right? How can I enjoy earning money? Maybe once money comes into the picture, like I start charging for the work, there's something about it that I don't enjoy anymore, right? Or it starts to get really serious because I feel all the pressure. Can we grow the threshold to what we are able to earn by enjoying money, acknowledging that it's important that we have money for survival, and it can be a part of our experience. And as we grow our threshold, we might notice that there's a certain ceiling that we hit and then we sabotage, right? Or it gets really uncomfortable. Or if we get a certain amount in the bank account, an unexpected expense always comes, or we always find a way to spend because it's not quite comfortable. Can we look at that and kind of grow the threshold there? That's something I've been working at. And confidence is coming in as well, working on confidence as a state, as an emotional state, something that you can tune into, right? Maybe, you know, having a character that you name, a part of yourself that shows up very confidently, and maybe, you know, naming that part so you can call on it when needed. And having that on, embodying that throughout the day, right? Like, how would someone with incredible confidence do their makeup or style their hair, or how would they dress? How would someone with crazy confidence walk, right? How would they pump their gas? How would they, right? And just trying that on, embodying that, and practicing it. It can be a practice as well, because you're worthy of feeling confident. You're worthy of earning for what you do. That you're quite a gift to the world with your capacity here to really deliver in your work, and have this contagious sense of pleasure in the world. When you're enjoying things, people simply just want to be around you more, and maybe you're noticing that. And worthiness is coming up, you know, healing this sense that who am I? I'm not worthy to, or deserving. And we're looking at that, and we are something that's stored in the sacral. We're uprooting that. We're doing a little gardening there. So we're going to uproot that and throw that away to be recycled. Source will know what to do with that, or Mother Earth can transmute that energy. That's not for us anymore. We're getting rid of unworthiness issues. We're getting rid of this I'm not deserving. Couldn't be farther from this truth. So we're getting rid of that. Can you feel that extracting out of your system? You might notice that in the soul, or in the sacral chakra, the chakra associated with pleasure, right below your belly button. Right, and it's multidimensional, so you're not just going to feel it there, but that's where we might be most sensitive. Yeah, I'm seeing it like picking a beet, right, or a root vegetable out of the ground. It's just, nope, it's outdated. We don't need it. Replacing it with the light, right? If you can sense some light in your hand, or a resource there like confidence, a resource like pleasure, a resourceful energy, or proof in the outside world that you're worthy, right? Like something you achieved and you're very proud of, or something you're really good at and you feel naturally proud of it, or naturally pleasure within it. Put that in your hand and place that hand over your soul, or over your sacral chakra in the front. You could do it in the back too if you feel called to. And we're just going to fill in that energy. We're going to fill in that little area, closing that gap with pleasure. And now noticing and acknowledging the beauty, things that we can take pleasure in all around us, right? Changing the lens, right? As we sort of shift to that energy, we might notice the heart opens, because they are connected. The heart opens now, which opens us to receive love. Gives us a less needy feeling. Interesting. So less needy feeling when we feel like we're enough. less needy feeling, so that we're able to, we don't have to prove ourselves or earn it. We don't have to earn love. We don't have to prove it. We can just enjoy. We can have pleasure. And then the heart center wants to open to receive. And queen, I'm seeing the word queen, queen archetype. That's very queen archetype of us too. And I mean, even if you're, if you identify as man, you might still have the archetype of queen, which is that receiver, right? The receiver, receiving energy. And in their power, confident, right? So we're integrating more of that energy with the help of our rutilated quartz here, associated with Venus. And maybe you really resonate with Venus as an archetype as well, working with that archetype. Appreciating love and beauty and everything associated there. All right, let me know if this resonated. Is this something you're working through? Thanks for liking and subscribing. You might want to watch the other crystals to see if your energy spilled over. If you want a session or to donate to the channel, all the links are in the description. All right, I will see you in the next one. Hi there to those of you that chose the citrine double terminated point. I do believe this is heat treated amethyst. It has that look, doesn't it? But I don't have many double terminated little points. So I really wanted, I don't even remember when I picked this one up. It's just part of my collection now. Let's tune in and see. So I'm seeing, like, it looks like a sunset, but it's right around the crown. So this might be about your light body and your essence. Shining your light into the world. What are you emitting? And are you in reaction, or are you influencing, right? Are you influencing the state of the room or the person across from you, right? Or who you're relating to, or your environment, or are you in reaction to it? And I mean, it's not one or the other. Usually, you know, it's, we sometimes take on different roles, right? I know that sometimes if I'm in a weakened place, or if I'm not well rested, I'm not really well equipped to deal with challenging or difficult relationships or dynamics, right? Or environments. So, but when I'm at my best, I am mindful of how I show up and what I'm offering. And do you ever notice, do you ever sense that with certain people or in certain situations, you start to feel a little diminished? Your light dims a bit. So what's coming in is this idea to keep your light shining and lit through your awareness and through radiating out. And in this way, when people come across from you, you're less reactive. You know that I'm just going to be mindful here and I'm going to maintain my light. And it's an invitation for other people to, even if they're not consciously aware, because most people are walking around not consciously aware, right? Very unaware, in fact, in a hypnotic trance most of the time on autopilot. So if you're able to mindfully show up in those moments, just notice what it feels like to emit, radiate out your light, to maintain your light through your mind, right? Through mindfulness. And that might be something that you have to intuitively navigate, right? You can do it with your breath, right? You might notice with the inhale, the light expands internally. And then with the exhale, it radiates out into the environment. And in this way, we don't have to come out and merge with other people to heal them or to figure out what's going on with them. Are they okay? Right? Sometimes we do this as empaths. It's an adaptation for survival, but it's not often very useful for us. So it might be more useful to, in those difficult situations where maybe it's familiar already, but so you know going in, my light tends to get dim here. This is a strategy that's coming in to continue to radiate your light and not compromise who you are out of reaction or response, right? One strategy, just noticing with the inhale, your light getting brighter inside, and with the exhale, radiating it out. You might give it a color, right? For me, I see like this golden yellow, beautiful light emitting out. And you know, citrine is an emitter. Oftentimes people will say you don't need to charge a citrine because it only emits energy. You just feel that out for yourself. I will sometimes still charge, clear, and I'd certainly clear it, but some people say you don't even need to clear it because it only emits. I believe that, you know, we develop it relationships. So it is sort of like my energy imprints on my crystals too. So, but just feel that out for yourself. And I'm one that's very sensitive to energy. So I notice when, and I can get reactive, right? Because of that sensitivity. But when I'm able to remain mindful and aware and present, I can feel things in my energy field. I can sense when someone's trying to do something and bait me into something, right? Or when I feel like, okay, let me just dim my light so that I become a little bit more invisible, so that I'm less of a target for someone's unwanted energy or attention. But you might find that the opposite might be more protective for you. Shining your light brighter might transmute the denser, darker energies in your presence and give you more, you know, remind you that you have sovereignty here, right, in your body, not allowing energies and entities in. Yeah, it's this luminescent I'm also seeing the Statue of Liberty. It's almost like carrying your torch and shining it bright. And I'm also seeing the crown as being symbolic of this idea of radiating your light, your energy, your essence, and allowing that to light other people through your mindfulness. When your attention is available to do so. I'm seeing like laughter can help do that as well. If you can make something more lighthearted, and maybe that's a skill you have, that's why it's being honored and acknowledged here, that this ability to find fun and humor as well. That came up a little bit with the Rutilated as well. That was more of a sensual pleasure energy. This is more of like a comedic presence, like a humor, a way of speaking or a way of seeing the world. that makes other people laugh, actually transmuting darker, denser energies and shining your light bright. And that becomes contagious. Maybe you have a contagious laugh. And I'm also getting comedy is medicine right now. Laughter, humor is medicine. So if there's a way to give yourself some of that, or offer that up in some way, but don't think that that's not important just because it's lighter, right? Don't think it's not important. It's very much needed. Joy, laughter, humor is very much medicine right now. Oh, and the double termination. Interesting how the double termination was the reflection of inside and out. Because it will send and receive. Got it. So sending and receiving as well was part of it. Receiving the lighthearted energy, the humor, and then radiating it out. And also staying aligned, because when the termination points up and down, this alignment through the awareness and breath work, right? You might want to do scanning breath to maintain embodiment, or scan for any energies that need to be swept out with the breath. Do a practice around that. It's really about maintaining your own energy through mindfulness and tuning into more visualizing the light. Do you have a sense around that? It's almost like synesthesia, where I'm feeling light, but I guess that makes sense. I guess you can feel the heat from light, but it's almost like I'm feeling this effervescent energy and making sure that I'm embodying it, that I don't get diminished. That's the idea, right? If anything, because you might have a tendency of shrinking your energy and constricting it instead of radiating it out in order to protect yourself and remain safe. And we're kind of getting the opposite here, that it's okay. You're safe to radiate, and you might actually transmute things in that energy that you're afraid, right? And if you diminish your light, it might invite things in closer, which might feel counterintuitive, right? So using your awareness, allowing the power of your attention and focus to keep you shining bright, and inviting other people to become sparked with that as well in your presence, right? That's really powerful. And I mean, really the work of a master, right? To embody the transformation. So maybe that's also telling as well about you and your energy, right? So let me know if you resonated in the comments. Thanks for sharing this with anyone who might resonate or need this message. And I appreciate you liking and subscribing to the channel. And if you want a session or to donate to the channel or anything like that, all links will be in the description. All right. I will see you in the next one. Bye, empath. Hi there to those of you that chose the Rubellite or the pink tourmaline, known as both. It's a really nice, really little light pink piece. Let me tune in. I'm seeing the words, the hyphenated word, open heart, open-hearted. I'm feeling my heart opening. And as it opens, I feel my shoulders going down. I was carrying some tension here. I'm feeling the tension going down as my heart relaxes open. I must have been doing something to shield myself for whatever reason. And as my heart opens, I can feel my tailbone. I can feel the tension I normally carry in my lower back ease up and lessen there. So interesting, I might tell someone, based on my work with the chakra system and my studies with Onodea Judith, I might talk about the association and the connection with the sacral chakra and the heart. And I might talk about easing the tension there, being mindful of your core, and easing, working on the exacerbation of the sacral in order to open the heart. And here we're getting the opposite. We're getting open the heart and it eases, which actually feels more powerful now that I feel into it. Opening the heart, and I naturally want to ease that tension. Right, because we carry this in the physical expression as well when it shows up energetically. And it's a little unfamiliar. I feel a little like I have to maintain my awareness there because I want to do all kinds of weird things, contort myself, have some tension here. And there are muscles that I'm not used to engaging that need to engage in order to maintain this. So that tells me that there's some overcompensating happening maybe. That maybe there's an idea or a belief in there that's ready to come out about what it means to be worthy of love, or that it's not quite safe, or I have to give in order to receive, right? Something like that. And that maintaining an open heart and just sort of being with that so that I'm able to give and receive love with ease, that might take a little bit of unlearning and training new muscles, strengthening muscles that are located in the back, which indicates support, right? So learning to receive support, perhaps. Maybe you identify as giver, or sometimes empaths have this tendency to want to heal others in our stead. If I heal you, that means I'm healed. And it doesn't quite work that way, right? Eventually we come to the understanding that, well, I've actually just been avoiding my own work, and and this word keeps coming in for me. It came in for me when I recently did work with my business vortex, my mentor. I'm in a business alchemy master's program, working with the energy of my business, the vortex there. And messages will come from that vortex for me. And what came for me is I'm a harbinger of peace. But what I'm getting for you is I'm a harbinger of love. I'm a harbinger of love, which means I embody love, and I model love. I show up with love, and that's the energy and the vibration and the frequency that I'm putting out there. . There's also this idea of achieving a new frequency and embodying that, which gives other people access to that. I'm learning the levels of love, and I'm embodying that and modeling that. Maybe levels of self-love that were never felt in my system, my family system, my community, the world, whatever it is, right? We belong to many systems. And maybe part of the belonging was putting limits around how much love I gave myself, right? Like the word martyr's coming in. Like maybe there is some martyr energy here of my value is giving to others and making sure everyone else is okay, and my needs go to the wayside. They aren't acknowledged, and that makes me better. That makes me belong, right? Maybe that's part of this idea of belonging that you have in some system, like a family, like your family system. And that's really being looked at here, and it's ready to be released, because what you can really do for the family system or community or the world, right? All the systems you belong to is embody what love really means and achieve new levels of it that haven't been experienced before. And there's this idea of that feels like a lofty goal to say out loud, but maybe this resonates for you. There is this idea of feeling or achieving or experiencing, downloading a frequency never felt before. And then once you embody it, it's then accessible to everyone else. Almost like when a time for, I'm getting the example of once someone, I'm getting the example of a runner who beats a time record, and once that time is beat, it's then achievable for other people. It's similar to that with frequency. That's something I learned through my mentor. And that's coming in for this group. And you know, this pink tourmaline is all about love and the healing power of love, right in that heart center. And once love becomes the focus, the giving and receiving sort of takes care of itself, right? You're no longer kind of keeping tabs here. There's also this idea of the levels of love. And perhaps you're coming out of this, the second level of love, right? The first level is control. There's this idea of control, controlling, maybe manipulation. The second level is the bartering, giving in order to receive, measuring what you're giving and receiving, right? Covertly bartering here. Maybe you're coming out of that level into this unconditional sense, right? And that's ready to be achieved currently. And once you achieve this loving for love's sake, the giving and the receiving sort of take care of itself. And the less attached you feel, because the sacral is about attachment, the less attached you feel to the outcome, the less attached you feel to receiving it back, because you're loving for love's sake. And that message is coming in. And maybe that's a message you're bringing the world through embodying it, through modeling it. And maybe you're a bit advanced in this area, right? Maybe this is something you're mastering and other people don't quite understand it the way you do. And people feel loved in your presence. And it's not because of something you're doing for them. It's because of how you show up. And that has the potential to make a huge impact and difference in the world right now. And your love is a gift. It's a blessing. And your ability to embody that and radiate it out is part of the purpose of you being here. And that's pretty amazing. So let me know if you resonate with that message. Does it have meaning for you? If someone else needs to hear this, thank you for sharing it with them. Thank you for liking the video and subscribing to the channel. That's really valuable to me. If you want a personal session or to donate to the channel or anything like that, all the links will be in the description. Thanks for your love. I'll see you in the next one. Bye, empath.